Just jumping on a live real quick. Want to jump on and talk about meditation and some tips. See if we can get anybody on here. Give you guys a couple minutes, see if we can get some folks on here. Couple minutes. All right. Give us a couple minutes, see if anybody can get on here. Alright, I'm just going to start talking, and if people can join us, that's great. If not, that's okay too. So I wanted to jump on here and touch base with everyone about meditation. I've had quite a few clients, friends, family talk to me, reach out to me about meditation and how they can't do it. It's really a struggle for them. Some of the things that have been said to me are things like it gives me a headache listening to meditation music. Another thing that was said to me is they get a physical response. Like listening to the music actually makes me physically anxious. So here's the thing about meditation. Meditation is a lot like exercise. If you've never exercised a day in your life and you try to jump into exercising, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's kind of the same thing about meditation. So a couple things about that, or tips, would be you don't need to meditate for 10 minutes. You don't need to meditate for 5 minutes. When you're first starting out, I don't suggest doing more than 30 seconds, especially if you've never meditated before. Another big thing about meditation would be, everybody says, oh, you got to get grounded. You got to start with the root chakra. So here's the issue with that. For me, when I am guiding people in shadow work and in my programs, I never start with grounding. And hear me out. So the chakras kind of go from your base all the way up, right? Grounding is to keep you grounded, right? To keep you connected. So I don't know if any of you are dog owners, but if you've ever taken one of those, they're like a leash for when you want to be outside with your dog and you kind of screw it into the ground, right? And then it gives them like the length of the yard or whatever, but they can only go around in a circle, right? But what happens is the dog will pull and yank, right? Because they can't see it, and it's, it just feels like a tethering that's uncomfortable. And eventually what happens is that metal screw that you screwed into the ground pops out, and now the dog is back to running around and acting a fool. So I kind of equate that to doing grounding work first. If you've never done meditation and you're trying to listen to chakra meditations, I don't think that you should start with the root chakra. I have found that the most effective way for me and my clients is start with the heart chakra. And again, 30 seconds a day, preferably before you start doing any real work. So maybe, you're a mom, it's too hectic to do at home until after the kids have gone to school and you're on your way to work, or you get to your desk, whatever the case may be. But definitely 30 seconds of heart chakra meditation to me is a way better plan than starting off with the root chakra, because I have found that most imbalances, or the biggest imbalance that you carry, if you've never meditated before, is in the heart chakra. So starting there is really where it gets you'll get more bang for your buck, basically. And remember, nobody is telling you to do 10 minutes of heart chakra meditation. Doing 10 minutes of heart chakra meditation is going to be very intense. It's intense for seasoned people who meditate. Start off at 30 seconds, graduate to a minute. It's really just a little bit. Feel the vibrations, feel the sounds. After this video, I'm going to post, the different hertz for different chakras for you guys. But also, another very important thing when you're meditating on a regular basis that you should be aware of is that you're going to open yourself up. You're going to feel different energies. You're not just going to feel more present. There's a couple shifts that'll happen. You'll start to be able to be more present in your daily life, and start to recognize things like what you're saying, what people are saying, and not necessarily, being so checked out that you're like, wait, what? When you're working on meditating on a regular basis, it's a lot easier to be more centered and more present in your daily life. And that's really the goal. So you do that, you're also going to start feeling shifts in energies in rooms. So, you can come into a room and it can feel cold, and, it could be a presence. It could be, anything like that. You come into a room full of people and get sick to your stomach because you're feeling the energy of the room. That's not to deter you from meditating. This is a kind of like a warning. If that starts to happen, you're not like, oh shit, fuck that, I ain't doing that no more. When you feel it, just know it's your body, your spirit, and your ancestors and your spirit guides helping you and guiding you better. Because they've been doing this since birth for you. But without you being really centered and open to them, you can't feel it. When you're disconnected from your spirit, you can't necessarily feel your spirit guiding you like, ooh, sis, you don't belong in this room. Let's bounce. We got to go. Bad stuff's going to kick off. You don't want to be in here. So you definitely want to make sure that you're, aware that once you start these meditations, and just know, my suggestion is always to go from heart chakra down, but not necessarily in order. So if I had to give advice, I would say go heart chakra. Then once you get to the point where you're not uncomfortable and you're doing heart chakra on a regular basis, then throw some root chakra in. And then from there, I jump to throat chakra because I don't know about you, but I got a slick mouth. And sometimes I say shit and it gets me in trouble. So throat chakra will help you keep a little more, presence in the mouth, where you're like, I probably shouldn't say that. Or sometimes you'll be like, I shouldn't say that, but I'm still gonna, so you go heart chakra, root chakra, throat chakra, and then bounce back down and do solar plexus and then sacral. The reason why I say to do your sacral chakra not as high up on the totem pole of priorities is, if I'm being honest, it can crack open a lot of sexual desires. And if you're not on point in your other shit, then you're going to be like super horny and making poor choices. And then the last things that I say to do, once you have a routine with those chakras, then do crown and third eye. Because if you try to do your crown and your third eye early, before you've gotten a good regimen of being grounded and gotten a good regimen of some other things, you can scare the shit out of yourself on accident. Because opening your third eye is being like aware of spirits. It's about being aware of people's intentions, right? And if you're not grounded, that can really jack you up. So you walk in a room and stuff starts falling over because some spirit senses that your third eye is a little more open than it used to be, and they trying to get your attention. You gonna move out the whole house like nope, nope, I gotta go. But if you're grounded and you're centered and you have a good regimen, you can recognize things for what they are, and your abilities that you're opening up to, and the things that you're connecting to. Because opening your third eye, before being grounded and things like that, you're going to start to be aware of people's intentions, and that could really jack you up if you're not in the right space with your heart chakra and with your solar plexus chakra. So your solar plexus is all about your self-esteem, right? So if you're not in a safe place there, and then you see other people's intentions with your third eye, now you're like, oh, I made this happen to myself. I attracted them. You're now bashing yourself, when all your spirit was trying to show you is you need to stop messing with her. She not a real friend. She don't really love you like she say she love you. Because what'll happen is, once your third eye is cracked open, you'll hear how people speak to you very differently. Very, very, very differently. Friends that you've been friends with for 20 years, all of a sudden, you will start to recognize that there is an undertone in things. And you will become uncomfortable, and you won't be able to ignore it, because now you're in it and you see it for what it is, and now you're uncomfortable with it, so you're going to have to distance yourself. So you definitely don't want to get to a point where you're trying to, everybody wants to be psychic. Everybody wants to be psychic until the shit happens and it scares them. Everybody wants their third eye open until Uncle Joe in the bathroom is trying to talk to you while you're sitting on the toilet. Then all of a sudden you don't want to be psychic no more. So don't try to crack open your third eye way so early. That's really not, it's all about being aligned and centered first so that you can be present. That's what's most important. And then once those things happen and you jump up to your third eye, now you crack open your third eye and you get that all centered and aligned. Now you're kind of walking together as a whole. So those are all of my meditation real quick tidbits. Again, do not be discouraged if you turn on meditation music and it gives you a headache the first time you hear it, or it makes you uncomfortable physically and anxious. Just start with your heart chakra. Give yourself 30 seconds. If you got to start with 15 seconds, start with 15 seconds. My suggestion is always to do it in the beginning of the day. You would be surprised how much more productive you would be. If in the morning you just align your heart chakra, and it could be something very simple as like, you got annoyed with your kid because they were late for school, recentering that, you will just have a more productive morning. You'll feel less stressed. It's definitely worth it. Now, I'm not saying you can't meditate before you go to bed, because it's definitely gonna help you sleep. The goal is to kind of, hit the tunes in the morning and hit the tunes at night. But not everybody got time for that, and I'm not blaming anybody for that. But so if you have to pick, a quick, if you want to do a deep dive before you go to sleep, so you go to sleep centered, that's great. And then just do a real quick 30 seconds of heart chakra in the morning, to get the blood pumping, right before you clock in or whatever you got to do. I suggest that. So thanks for coming to my little meditation tips. I'm going to check in with you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do a live just about some things that were on my heart about tarot reading, and the things that you should know about having a reader and the expectations. So I'll probably go live tomorrow. I'm kind of a flaky Pisces, so I don't want to give you a time, but I'll definitely say sometime tomorrow. Okay? All right, I love you guys. Sleep well.